Okay.
Jerry, can you go ahead and talk about what the acquisition of Trey Lance means for this team this season, but then also going forward after this year?
Well, he gives us an opportunity to do what we would always like to be doing. It would be ideal with Dak to have a young, prospective, developing quarterback that could just be in the room, be, I'm going to use the term, but be on the team with him. Because this gives him not only an opportunity to take, I'm talking Trace, not only Trey, what he got in San Francisco, but he can take, in my mind, one of the finest quarterback rooms there is because Dak Prescott's in it. Dak Prescott's finest quality for me is how he takes what he does in the classroom and takes it to the practice field. So this really was in our mind very much that he was going to be coming into this situation with Dak. Again, we didn't waste any time. The minute that we knew that they were serious about trading him, then we didn't want the phone to hang up. And we did it the equivalent of yesterday. And so we felt good about him, about him in the evaluation that we had for him in the draft. We felt good about what we've seen on tape that he's done since he's been in the NFL. And it was one that we just made the decision almost the minute we heard the name, and let's get him.
When you talk to your front office, your other front office people, your scouts, what do they say about why it didn't work out for him in San Francisco?
Well, they didn't know. You're talking our scouts knew why it didn't work out for him?
Yeah.
They wouldn't know that.
Were you
Now,
surprised that he was
San Francisco might know that, and their scouts might know it, and to some degree, but ours wouldn't. I thought that John did a great job the other night on their game. I watched their preseason game, and I thought he did a good job talking about just the nature of why they made the decision they made. But this boils down to how we evaluate him in the draft. It boils down to the fact that, frankly, apart from just assessing his physical condition relative to the injuries that he had, that was the first thing that I wanted to make sure we were clear on. But the idea of having what we had seen when he came through the draft and being able to work with it again with our quarterback room was just an opportunity that we have thought about many times, try to get to. If he had hung around long enough, we might have done this on the Philadelphia quarterback back 2 years ago on it. But again, my point is that we view it as an opportunity. We view it as an additional part of this team that could pay dividends this year. But certainly when we look to the future, will pay dividends in my mind.
Jerry, what did you guys give Dak a heads up that this was coming? Did anybody in your organization give Dak a heads up that this was coming down?
No. We didn't tell anybody until we did it. Period. There was nobody that knew it. We told Mike after we'd done it.
And you have
But my point is, we just wanted to get it done.
Have you talked to Dak since then?
No, I have not.
When you say you told Mike afterward, did he have any input on the decision?
Just that he liked him as a quarterback coming out. But that's our decision.
You mentioned that the scouts talked about they liked what they'd seen on the field from him in the NFL. What were some of the things that they have seen on the field with the Niners that they liked, your scouts?
He played pretty good in the rain in Chicago, so he handled the wet ball pretty good. I saw where there might have been some criticism of that, but we looked at it differently. So we saw that. That's information that I got after we had consummated this deal. But fundamentally, we could make this decision based on what we saw in the draft, based on feeling good about his injuries, and based upon, frankly, he's been in a positive situation there in San Francisco. We think that that's been good exposure for him to be at San Francisco. And then it's certainly based upon the fact that we've got, with Dak Prescott, we've got one of the finest rooms, for lack of a better way to say it, but we've got one of the finest places for a young, aspiring quarterback to basically learn from and evolve from.
Jerry, I don't know if you even asked this, and I'm sorry if you have, but how does this impact the negotiations of a contract with Dak? You guys talked all spring about wanting to get Dak done. I know Steven said we want Dak to be the quarterback for the next 10 years. How does this impact that?
You don't, it didn't cross my mind, period, about an impact here regarding Dak. I know that Dak wants to do anything we can do to improve this team, and we're going to do it. The facts are that the decision to bring in as high a quality of talent as we could, that's evolving, or a young talent that is basically gaining, improving, getting better, that you would be as a young talent. That's something that we've been trying to do, but it's just never, the opportunity seems to be there so often. But we've been trying to do what we did today with this trade almost every draft since I've been drafting.
Is that why you didn't feel the need to talk to Dak about the decision either before or after? You said
Well, I don't, we don't really, we very seldom ever talk to anybody about another player about who we're thinking about drafting or who we're thinking about getting involved with. We don't do that.
Why was the timing now to do this trade? Why did you feel like this was the right moment to bring in Trey Lance at this point in
Well,
his
I
career?
didn't want another moment to go by because they said, we want to trade him. And we said, done.
Just like that.
That's like that, almost just like that, but it was might a little more than that. But we didn't. but my point is,
He
we
wasn't
didn't.
available.
We didn't want him. We didn't want him to hang up. We wanted him.
Jerry, I know you still have a whole season to go. We don't know how much we're going to see of Trey on the field or not, but have you given any thought to the 5th-year option at this point and
No.
what you guys are going to do there?
No, I mean we're excited about having him, and we're excited about the terms of his agreement, and we're fully aware that we've got more money to invest in him next year, and we'll look and see what happens there in the future as far as the 5th year is concerned, or an extension of a contract. We hope it gets to that. Hope his evolving is at that level, and feel very good that it can be. But make no mistake about it, you sit around with your hand in your pocket and think about an opportunity or a situation like this, and it'll be gone.
You've always talked in the past about liking the idea of having a young quarterback to develop on the roster at all times, but it doesn't always work out. Was this move a little easier to make because you're coming off 2 12-5 seasons and where you were than it would have been if you were at another stage?
No, I think had we been able to draft him with next year's 4, the kind of talent he was in this draft, like I just told you 2 years ago, we were looking at Philadelphia quarterback, I'm not going to call any names, but looking at him. Had he fallen to us there, we would have drafted him. It is our plan when we can, but it very seldom happens to have someone of a high enough quality to be there at the right place with our draft pick. This one worked, and so we're excited about it.
Jerry,
All right, we got one more.
Jerry,
One
how
more.
can he help you this year? How can he help you this year? There's a certain packages you can get on the field, things like that?
Well, he will come in, and I candidly, as far as I don't want to plan on, count on, or wish for help from him this year.
Okay.
What do you think about Dak calling plays today? What do you think about Dak Prescott calling the offensive plays today?
Well, I think he's. We may find that he's found his calling.
All right, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good run pass.